Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer. We're back in online action, again with the Warriors of Chaos. I wanted to try out transmutation of, Final Transmutation with Big Bird here. I have seen it used to great effect on some other people's replays and so on. So, thought I'd give it a shot. It does seem that it's actually worth the magic cost now, so Lord Metal is actually really good. I mean, it was good in the last patch, just with Transmutation of Lead, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was good, definitely. But with the buff to Final Transmutation, Lord Metal is really, really good now. And Big Bird, I mean, he's with his resistances. I mean, here with the Swords of Chaos, he's got 36 physical resistance, 70% missile, 25% magic resistance, and just lots of good stuff here. So a lot to love about Big Bird. Of course, he's unbreakable, only 30 armor, but he does have magic attacks and a pretty decent weapon strength at 440. Looks like his armor piercing is actually 140, so not amazing, but with the Plague of Rust, I mean, he can pretty much trade with any lord. So yeah, this is the standard Big Bird build that you guys have seen before, but for those of you who are new, I'll go over it once again. This is 4 Chaos Marauders in the front line, backed up by 2 Aspiring Champions, 4 Forsaken on each flank, one of them being the Demon Spew, Regiment of Renown. Of course, 2 Chariots, just for some extra impact damage. We've got 2 Marauder Horsemen, and this is the main change from the last time I showed you guys this build, is instead of bringing the throwing axes, I've just brought the regular Marauder Horsemen with the javelins, because you don't typically need armor piercing. At least with this, I can really rely on Big Bird being able to debuff the armor of specific tree units, so that way, I don't necessarily need to bring armor piercing to deal with them. That way, I can cheap out and bring these javelins, which I don't know if they have a longer range. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to check that, but they're a little bit cheaper, and the 200 gold I saved by downgrading both of those to the javelins, I was able to pick up Final Transmutation. So just some very minor tweaks to the build. For my opponent, he does have Durthu, and looks like Treekin mixed in here with this front line of Eternal Guard with shields, 1 Wildwood Ranger on each flank, and 2 Deepwood Scouts. He does also have these Wild Riders out here, Wild Riders with shields, as well as the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, which is very cool looking. Regiment of Renown Wild Riders. These guys are awesome, just beautiful. Very, very nice. So we'll kick things back into full gear, and you can see I'm just going to be doing some skirmishing here with my Marauder Javelins. Just pulling these guys away and trying to get an advantageous engagement. The Wild Riders only have 85 speed compared to the 92 of Marauder Horsemen, so they will be able to outrun the Wild Riders. As long as they don't get into a charge animation, we should be fine. So you can see I'm just kind of continuing to screen here as we push up with the main line. And for my opponent's force, the issue he's going to run into is he has a really narrow front line. I mean, it's fairly wide, but again, with this build, as you guys have seen before, there's just so much to account for. So I'm going to be able to get a nice envelop, get around these flanks, get into these very expensive Deepwood Scouts, who honestly, I don't know that I would bring these guys. Probably a couple Blade Guards with Starfires, and then just go for more, spears, more maybe some War Dancers with the Azray Spear. Interesting from Durthu also to see the Manticore summon. That's not something you see too much anymore with the Manticore devolving. Let's actually see what Durthu's carrying here. So he does have Amber Spear, let's see, Amber Spear, Flock of Doom, and Transportation of Kadon. Interesting. I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone use the Amber Spear, so we'll see if he uses it here. You can see some nice fire coming in from the Deepwood Scouts, but again, they're right now they're just targeting Marauders, so that's really inefficient use of their ammo. They're very expensive, and their ammo is somewhat limited. So over here, in a really nice charge coming in from the Wild Riders, going to do some damage to the Forsaken, but luckily their heavy armor will allow them to somewhat be okay. However, getting attacked in the back by these Wildwood Rangers is not going to be great. Over here, the main line engagement has kicked off. We've got these Aspiring Champions matched up to the Treekin. Although they don't have great armor piercing, they do have magic attacks, so they'll be able to cut through the physical resistance there. Over here, we're just getting into these Wilder Rangers. A little bit of an awkward engagement here. Neither of us had a direct charge order, but the Demon Spew will definitely win that fight hands down. With the Swarm of Flies and the poison and everything, I mean, these Wilder Rangers are already heavily debuffed, and the 64 weapon strength with only 40 armor, it's going to be very unfavorable for the Wildwood Rangers. So over here you can see nice Flock of Doom going off, and we're also going to be dropping Final Transmutation. So it's actually doing quite a bit of damage to Durthu here, and it's just continuing to tear away a lot of these troops. You can see it's actually draining away. No, actually, it must not be something else. What's he got on him? I can't quite tell. Was that the Sword of Daith, maybe? I know I did drop a transmutation of, excuse me, Final Transmutation. But, yeah, now we're just getting in with Big Bird, and of course with the Plague of Rust, Big Bird can almost one-on-one with Durthu. I mean, I would have to do a little bit of testing to be able to say decisively, but it's pretty close with the armor debuff, so Durthu's having a really bad time. We're just cleaning things up here in the flanks and in the back. The Swords of Chaos, without the, the Firebark Elders, they are essential, I think, against Chaos, because you'll very often see these Swords of Chaos, and having that fire resistance, especially if you're going to bring a Tree Lord like Durthu. Honestly, I used to say that Durthu was pretty good against the Chaos. Honestly, now though, I think Orion's better with the Cloak of Isha, and Durthu just gets cut down so hard by the Swords of Chaos with their fire damage and armor piercing, and it's just really, really bad. So you can see over here, the Chariot's just continuing to run around, be a menace. The Wild Riders have done a good job of charging around, but they're coming up against Forsaken, which is not super cost-effective because of the high weapon strength. I mean, the Forsaken will take a bit of damage on the charge, but because of their high weapon strength, they'll be able to trade fairly efficiently in return. You can see Durthu's pretty much going down over here, and at that, the Elven leadership starts to waver. Most of the infantry is pretty much gone at this point, so just getting overwhelmed. And you guys know I'm a big fan of unit density, and so I think a small army like this is not ideal, especially if you don't have any way to heal it. Now, if he had brought a Branch Wraith, for example, with Earthblood, it would have been a little better, or even a Spellsinger. You know, the, oh, what is it? I can't remember the name of it now for some reason. The new spell that just wrecks everything with Lore of Life. You know, if you bring a Spellsinger Lore of Life, you can bring Regrowth, you know, Earthblood, and that Dwellers Below. That's it. I was looking for it. So, yeah, it's a good time. This is a very unfavorable matchup for the Wood Elves, I think. Chaos is really good. I mean, they were good before. They were decent before. But with the Regiments of Renown and everything now, they can trade better with some of the other top-tier factions. But they've always been a really tough matchup for the Wood Elves, especially Big Bird. I mean, he is seriously a hard counter to everything they do, just about. So, and with the buff to Final Transmutation, I would go so far as to say that Sartharael is one of the strongest lords in the game, especially when you combine him with the Swords of Chaos. The physical resistance they provide, I mean, it gives him just these stacking resistances that just get ridiculous. And, I mean, it's not, like, overpowered. You still can kill him, and you have to be a bit careful. But the great thing about Big Bird is he has great mass and great escapability. He can get out of pretty much any situation for the most part. Just super slippery and just likes to skate around and, you know, hop over people and just won't be pinned down. So it's really good. I mean, definitely my favorite legendary lord here. And I'm putting together a video soon of my top 7 legendary lords. Hope you guys will enjoy that. So I'm excited. And the work is coming along with the guide as well. I'm trying to decide, because I was going to make a section about the UI and controls. There may be some updates with Total War Warhammer 2, so I might put that off a little bit longer until that comes out. I'm not sure. I need to check into a little bit more and see exactly what changes are being made and if it would be worth covering now, and because my idea with the guide is to make it future-proof, and I'm rambling a bit now in this post-battle. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you like it, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.